I remember telling her, okay, I knew Jesus.
Yeah, but
It was like, can he bring back someone I know?
No, okay.
Because I never met Jesus in person.
Yeah.
You know, and she arandeba ngo humura ongera bisomwa kabiri muri manisa kwera. And 5 years ago, I can say she was right. You know.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Moments with Joe. Today I have a special guest, the one that's coming back. It's Negrita.
She's back.
So you guys all loved her in the past last video. Everyone was like, oh, Negrita, you want to know her story. So I thought it was important for us to just sit down, talk a bit about one thing we have in common, which is losing a parent. So this episode is a heavy one. So don't mind us if we cry. Don't mind us if, you know, a lot of emotions are going through us right now. But grab your drink before we start. We are starting with Fanta. Now we're going to talk about Fanta. So I have my Coke and she has her Fanta. And we are bougie, so we use nice glasses. So don't mind us. And yeah. So we're going to start off by just like diving in. And maybe if you can just tell us a bit about your family, like when did your parents meet and when did they have you and how was your dad like?
Yeah, thank you so much, Rosine, for having me again. I appreciate being here. So, as you said, my name is Negrita and I'm the last born of my family.
How many siblings do you have?
2.
Oh, okay.
One brother, one big brother, and one big sister.
Okay.
I just came really after 10 years.
Oh.
10 years of difference, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. So I grew up with both parents.
Okay.
My mom and my dad. And they were both involved in my life.
Yeah. Happy family.
Shout out to my mom. Probably she will watch this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's it.
And how was your dad like? Like, how was your relationship with your dad, like growing up and everything?
So I was a daddy's girl. Everyone who knows me know that I'm a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
My dad was really involved in my life. He was a very good dad.
Yeah.
And I appreciate him and I appreciate the time I spent with him. I really thank God that I grew up with him.
Yeah.
It's an honor.
Yeah.
You know. So he was a good dad, a very caring dad, a very funny one.
Yeah.
He was very funny and yeah. I think that's it.
Okay, the type of dads that you can like talk to, like hang out with. Because I remember you mentioning that you guys used to do like daddy dates with your dad, which I think is so funny. It's so cute. No, I mean it's so cute.
It was only me and him on Sundays, like afternoon church, and after church
you guys went
for lunch to visit our family, like his family.
Yeah.
So he was really a good dad. He was really involved in my life. He was very caring. He was, you know, there for me every time, you know, and telling me all the time, oh, you are so beautiful. I remember this time, I remember this time I was sitting doing my makeup. I was really late. And he came in my room. He came in my room, you know, but he to pressure me.
Yeah.
You know,
he was so gentle with you.
Yeah, he was so gentle with me.
Yeah.
So I remember that time. He and then he was telling me and then he told me and I can never forget that. I think, you know, that was the most beautiful thing. I looked at him, I was like, huh? I couldn't believe it. You know, it was so cute.
Yeah.
He was that kind of dad. You are very beautiful. I miss you all the time. You know, sometimes I post the chats between me and
your
him.
Dad, yeah.
I still have it.
You still have it?
I do. I still have it.
Wow, that's so nice. I wish I had mine.
I still have it. I still have his voice notes. You know. So akajini namkira ndagukumbuye. He was that type of dad. Telling me all the time that how much he loves me.
Very reassuring, like with his words as well.
Yeah. I miss you so much. I was always with him. That time, he used to annoy me. I was like, "Dad, you do too much." Even a shock of Amurgo, like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And then at 10, I come on my God. When are you coming back home? I'm like, I just left.
I just left.
What do you mean when am I coming back? And he was like, oh, I miss you so much. I was like, what do you want to eat for lunch? What do you want to have for dinner?
Yeah.
He was that kind of dad. Well, and I hope I'll get a husband
who's the same as your dad.
The same like my dad.
Oh, that's
like,
so nice to have him as like the example of what you're looking for as well. He
and
set the bar high.
Yeah, very high. Another thing I loved about him is when I got breakfast. Can you imagine?
Guys,
he was so caring. At that point, he could bring me breakfast in bed. He was okay with it. He knew I was not a morning person back then. He knew Negrita Abdukatinze. And then when she wakes up at 11, don't judge me. When she wakes up at 11, if she wakes up at 11, I know she'll be so lazy to go have breakfast.
Yeah.
So, in my room. And a small note.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
He was a very good dad. I wish our papa was
which is so nice to have that as an example, because I know a lot of people have sometimes different experiences with that. Ariko, one thing I never, like, we weren't friends yet when your dad was still alive, but one thing I know even now, once I met her after her dad passed away, Negrita is the daddy's girl. She always talks about her dad. You go, oh my God, we're giving you papa. Like, it's so cute to see that. Like, you guys had such a beautiful relationship even after that.
I'm crying. I'm crying. Sorry, but last time I told Josine, I can't even talk about him without crying.
Yeah.
So guys, bear with me. I'm sorry.
Guys, bear with Negrita. This is it's still a hard topic, because even after years, it's still so sensitive to talk about someone that you love so much and care so much, like in past sentence. I don't know if that's the same for you.
Yeah, it's a delicate subject.
Yeah.
For everyone.
I know.
Who lost someone.
Everyone paid. Yeah. And for me, my mom had 5 girls and 1 boy. And my dad and my mom separated when we were still young. So unfortunately, I would say that I don't have the same experience as you with my dad. But yeah, so my mom was honestly my everything. She was my best friend. She was so fun. She was like, the type of mom, like, she'll be so cool. She'll be talking like about her youth. Like, if you're
I know.
Like, I was like, always imagining her in her youth. She never like, I don't feel like there was a subject that we couldn't talk to, like, about with her. And honestly, like, she was very present, like, the mom that wants to know what's going on, who's talking to who, what are you guys doing?
Who are you dating?
Yeah, but she would still give you, like, your freedom, but at the same time, she wants to be, like, involved, know what's happening. And yeah, honestly, our relationship was great. I don't think I wished for anything to be different in the way I was raised. Like, she gave me so many beautiful values, and her perspective in life was just amazing. She was very hardworking, very dedicated to what she believed in, and honestly, she was the best. Yeah, we had the best relationship. She was the best mom. And yeah, unfortunately, my mom passed away in 2015. But yeah, I think we're gonna dive now deeper into like, what happened, like, how did your dad pass away, like, if you can tell us, like, in a short, a bit of, like, what happened and how did he pass away.
So I lost my dad back in 2019.
Okay.
Towards the end, it was in September.
Okay.
That's a tough month for me.
Yeah.
It was in September 7th, I remember. And
we're bearing with you. We're here for you. Feel free to take your time.
He was sick from 2017. From 2017, I remember it was on Christmas when they told us he has cancer.
Oh,
he had cancer.
Did he have, like, symptoms before you guys found out?
Yeah, he had symptoms. Yeah.
Okay.
He lost his voice.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how they say it in English.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay.
He lost his voice. I think it was 2015. That's where he started losing his voice.
Okay.
But we thought it was normal and he was really like me.
Yeah.
I don't like hospitals.
So he didn't like to go to
He didn't
check
like
up.
to check up
Oh,
for checkups.
yeah.
He was like, I'm healthy. There's no one yarakomeye umupapa ukomeye cyane, healthy. Ugira courage nyinshi, you know.
Yeah.
So he was really healthy. So
Yeah.
he was like, this will pass.
Yeah, whatever it is,
This
it's
will
something
pass.
small.
Yeah, that's something small. From 2015 towards the end, I think.
Yeah.
2016.
Yeah.
And then 2017, noneho atangira kujya avuga akumva arababaye.
Yeah.
It started to hurt.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you get. Noneho aravuga, you know, this is
not normal.
not normal.
Yeah.
So it was like, let me go for checkup, you know. And
Yeah.
that's where they found out that he has cancer.
Was it a
throat cancer?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
throat cancer.
Yeah.
And then from umva ko kanya agenda kwivuza.
Yeah.
He started the journey from 2018. And at some point, they told him he was cancer free.
Yeah.
But no cancer. It
can come back.
It
Yeah.
can come back, you know. So it came back eventually.
Yeah.
It was for a short time. It's gone.
Yeah.
It was for really a short time.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it came back, and you know, ariko the way he was so strong.
Yeah.
Now we you know, I forget to mention that I was the only one at home.
Okay.
Yeah. They're so.
So you're the one who
Sorry, guys.
You were mostly the one that was at home when he was sick.
I was about to say they're so old. I couldn't say cool. They will watch this and be like, I'm not old, that's all. So
I was just married and they moved out of the house.
They moved out of the house, so I was the only one at home with my mom.
Okay.
So I never thought the way
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the most important person in my life. I love him so much.
Yeah.
You know, I can never lose him.
Yeah. So for you, like, it wasn't even an option that he would die.
It wasn't even an option. I was like, he will get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He will get through it. No, to be honest with you, it's
Aki.
The way God loves me, he can now wear me one. So, he started the journey, and then it got complicated, like 2019, June or July.
Okay.
You know, and then September, it was over. I remember they called me at 6 a.m. I was home.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. It was and then in the morning, I was like waking up. I had a job. I was waking up, getting ready, and then they called me like, you have to come at the hospital. Little did I know, I'm going to see my dad. You know, the way I loved him, the way
yeah.
Guys, I was an adult already.
With your dad?
Your dad.
Yeah.
I was a baby. I was really, I depended on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You say, oh, Papa. You just tell Papa, you know, you get.
Yeah.
I can come with you. Papa, I was a baby.
Yeah.
I was an adult.
Yeah.
So I went to the hospital. When I got there, I was greeting everyone.
Yeah.
This social, you know me.
Yeah. So you enter like.
So everyone in security.
Yeah.
I was really happy. I was I'm coming to see my dad. They didn't know.
Oh, they didn't know. Okay.
And the first person I met was my brother-in-law.
Okay.
And the moment he saw me, he started crying. And deep inside me, I was like, Jarantis. You know, my heart, my brain, it's over. But my heart was like,
Nagushoka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he is crying.
Yeah.
And when I saw him crying, I was like,
what? Yeah, what's happening?
The
way he cried was
the way he cried, because he's a man. Usually, they don't like to show their emotions. But when he saw me, the first thing, one of my dreams was to my dad walking
through the
through the aisle. So I was like, he promised me to do so.
Oh.
Ntabwo yabinkora.
Nibyo bya mbere wahise
Nibyo
uvuga.
byose bintekereza mu
Oh my
kuko twaga
God.
hari ukuntu nyine yino yagendaga yidunda
Yeah.
nyina nk'ababoga nyine so umva nitwinjirana tuzaba tuberanye njye nawe. So the first thing was saying, oh, he promised me. You know, I started crying.
Yeah.
And then I went to see him. It was over.
Mm.
I saw him. Wow, it's happening.
Yeah. Good.
You know, I started crying, trying to wake him up, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on? And then I remember my mom was there. I think we'll get there. My mom was there, and then she was crying as well.
Yeah.
And when she saw me, everyone knew I was a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
You know, I depended on him with my whole life.
Yeah.
You know, I remember my mom, she tried to be strong.
Yeah.
You know, my mom she's so pretty.
Yeah.
She's so pretty.
Yeah.
But when I saw her, I was like, what happened to you?
Yeah,
She was when she saw me, she really tried to be strong for me.
For you.
And then she saw me crying. She was like, don't worry. She said it in Kinyarwanda. ahita arambwira ngo humura Imana izakubera papa. No, yambwiye Yesu azakubera papa. I remember telling her, ntabwo Yesu muzi. Okay, I knew Jesus.
Yeah, but
ako kunasha nyine kunabivuze.
Was
like, can he bring back someone I know?
No, okay.
Because I never met Jesus in person.
Yeah.
You know, and arandeba ngo humura anjya bisamo kakabintu muri Imana izakubera papa. And 5 years ago, I can say she was right. You know. So that's my story, I think.
Yeah. That's how your dad passed away.
That's how
in 2019, September.
Yeah, September 2019. That's how he passed away. And that was my last time to see him.
Yeah.
And
okay. Well, thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
We're bearing with you. Don't worry. It's a safe space. It's a safe space, guys. Nago turira. We're here for you and it's normal kurira. I think for me, Nadia, the same. My mom.
I was going to ask you the same question.
Exactly, it's the same actually because our stories are quite similar. My mom had a few symptoms, like she was losing a lot of weight. She got pretty sick. She wasn't like able to get out of bed and everything because. If you knew my mom, she was super like, she would never get sick and she was always like full of energy. So for her to be like all day in bed and everything was so not normal for her. That's why she knew like something is going on. And I think they did a few tests, they didn't find anything. And then she did another test one day and they found it was cancer. It was cancer, I think it was, I don't know if it's called leukemia in English, leucemia. So yeah, it's blood cancer. So that means there isn't anything that you can cut away or with blood cancer. It's like your blood cells. So one thing they could do was like replacing those blood cells, but you need to find a donor, a match, and anyways, the process was super long to find someone with the exact like blood type, blood cells, and everything was super hard. So yeah, we spent she got sick probably in September 2014, and then she passed away in July 2015. 1st of July, I will never forget it, because obviously she was in the hospital for all these months, and they did the thing where they change your blood cells and everything, but it was only 50% chance to to get healed, and unfortunately, they give you 3 months, I think. They said if in 3 months you have no other symptoms, you're healed, you're okay, and it worked. But obviously she got a few symptoms were coming back and everything, so she knew that it wasn't gone. And just by the time of feeling sick again, probably around April, May to July, she passed away. Yeah, so she passed away 1st of July. But in all those months, my mom was a very private person. She wasn't the type of person to be screaming over, oh, I'm sick, oh, I'm sick. No, she was like, if this is happening to me, it's in our family, we're going to deal with it. And like Negrita said, it was also for me just a little info. I think in 2014 is where I really started praying. I really started discovering God. So So for me, I was so full of like faith. I was like, oh, this is nothing. Like she's gonna get through it. I never even thought about it. Like I remember her, like in the beginning of her sickness, she was quite worried. You know, oh my God, my kids need to such a big whole stuff like that. She was very, very worried. So I would always be the one to be like, oh mom, don't worry. Yes, it will be better. You are gonna get healed. And every sign I would say that God was giving me, I would always interpret it like in a way that, oh, she's gonna get healed. But sometimes now looking back, obviously I see what God meant when he was, you know, when I was reading his word and everything. But yeah, so that happened. She got really sick. But as like the more the months went on, the less worried she was. Like she was so, at the end she was like so full of faith, but a different kind of like faith, not the one like, oh, he has to. It's more like if he does or he doesn't, he's still God and he's still good and his will be done. And I was always like, yeah, go, his will be done, but heal. You know what I mean? If you're not going to move in my books. So I was like, no, I was so full of like
faith.
Yeah, full of faith, honestly. So when it happened, it was quite unexpected. I went there like the day before she passed away. I was just like in Brussels near the hospital. I was like, oh, let me go see mom. Since I was going to start a new job the next day, I was like, that way we just spend time together. I went there, we sat together. And if you know someone that's sick and has cancer, like at the end of this, like they get to this stage where they are in and out a bit. So they would talk to you and then they would fall asleep. And then they talk to you and then fall asleep. Yeah. So for me, I was talking to her and I could see how like physically tired she was. And it's really like an instant, like a second. I don't even know how to explain it. It was like an instant where I saw her like close her eyes and she was like so tired. And I told God, like in my mind, I was telling God, I was like, oh God, like if it's better for her to rest, like you can take her. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I said it like, you know, it's something that you just said it. But I looked at her, I was like, I don't know, like she needs rest. You know what I mean? Then I told God, I was like, man, anyway, like
may you be done.
Yeah, I just said but I didn't really think about it. And then I remember her opening her eyes and she looked at me and she was like, Josine, you know, I'm going to die. And I was like, I looked at her, I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh mom, go. Like maybe your faith is low today. And she was like, she's like, no, like
she can feel it,
yeah. She just looked at me and she's like, you know, when you're about to die, you can feel it, you know it. And I was like, what? I was like, no, don't say that. And then she started telling me things like, oh, if you I have this saved, I wanted a funeral like this. And I was like, mom, I'm not having this conversation with you, you know. And then she said, okay, but she said, I'm really just telling you, like, and she just looked at me like that. And then she said, and I know that God is going to take care of you guys. And I remember that was like her biggest worry throughout the sickness was, oh my God, my kids, on a manje. But at that, she was like so in peace. She looked at me, she's like, God is going to take care of you guys. And I was like, no, mom, don't talk about that. And then she was like, okay, maybe you don't want to talk about it today, but we'll have to talk about it. And then she was like, oh, by the way, before you leave, take my, she had this golden necklace that she was always wearing. And she was like, before you leave, I want you to have this. And I was like, why? And she was like, oh, no, you know, you never know in the hospitals. What if they take it, whatever. And then, like, we used to always pray, like, every time I went to see her. But on that day, I don't know why, I was just like, I was going out. I was like, oh, mom, like, I'm going to Israel after my work and everything. Bye-bye, love you. And that was the last time I saw her. And then I went home. No, I didn't go home. I went to a friend's house. We were sleeping. But something woke us up like around 3. And I remember her telling me like, oh, let's pray about your mom, you know. So we started praying. I was like, praying. I was like, okay, God, like heal her and everything. And my friend was like, yeah. And she kept on praying for my mom. I could hear her pray for my mom. And I was like, okay, I'm going to sleep. Tomorrow I have my first day at work and everything. And then like around 5 a.m., I hear my phone was ringing. And I don't know why. You know when you hear something and like your heart like jumps. And I was like 5 a.m. and I see like my sister's name. And I was like, Bonette's calling me? I was like, why is she calling me? Like my heart instantly like clutched. I was like, okay. And then I responded. Obviously, she was telling me like, oh my God, mom is dead and everything. And I remember it felt like a movie. Till this day, I just jumped out of bed, still wearing my PJs. I changed my pants. I put on shoes and I started running. And I was running because I was the closest to her. Like the hospital was in Brussels. I was in Brussels, like staying at my friend's house. They were a bit further away where we used to live. And I was running in the streets. Like, I was like, God. I just kept on saying in my mind, God, 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 what is this? And then we arrive at the underground. I was waiting for the underground, but like I saw like you had to wait like 10 minutes for it to arrive because it was the first one in the morning at 6 a.m. And those 10 minutes felt like 2 hours. I sat on the ground. I was crying. That's where like it hit me. I was like, what the heck? I was like, nope, it's not possible. Whatever you do, God, I think you're gonna, I don't know, she's gonna get resurrected, like you said. I don't know, like you are
Like
gonna do
Bible,
something.
Yeah,
I was like, you're
Do a
gonna do
miracle.
something. The miracle that I was waiting for my whole life, Ningi, with my mom.
Muzure kabisa.
Chan. And then we arrived. I was still running. I arrived, and one of the nurses who knew me, she was like, "Oh, before you enter, like, calm down." She's like, "Yeah, we tried calling you." So what had happened is that they tried calling us at 3 a.m. when my mom was getting bad and everything. But my sister didn't know the number, so she didn't respond. And she was like, "Oh, next time they call me, I'm gonna respond."
Yeah.
And they called like around 4 to tell her it was over already. So yeah, she was like, "Oh, we tried calling you, da 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 da," and I was like, in my mind, I was like, "Oh my God, how did we not like pick up?" But then afterwards, now thinking back, I thank God we never picked up because I don't think that would have been a good image for my brain and my heart to see like my mom leaving, and for her maybe like seeing her leaving her kids. She was like alone, maybe with God, like. And she left, but the image would have been too traumatizing for me, I think, personally. So then, yeah, I entered the room and I saw her. She was laying down. But the craziest thing is they look so peaceful.
Yeah, very peaceful.
They look like they're sleeping. I looked at my mom. She was still like warm. So I touched her. I was like, wait a minute. Like, is this a joke? I was like, wake up. I was, yeah, like you. I started saying like, are you really gone? Like, mom? But there is also something that I noticed. A body without a soul is weird. It's weird. Like it's empty. It's a shell. So at that point, I realized when I looked at her, I was like, okay, she's no more. Like she's gone. So by that time, like after 30 minutes, my sisters arrived as well. And when they arrived as well, guys, bear with us. But when they arrived as well, the only response that you could give in that time, I think it was just prayer. So we just like, grabbed our hands, we prayed over it. Like we still thank God because at the end of the day, he's God.
Yeah.
Who are we to question him?
No.
But still we questioned him because that moment I was like, what is this? But then I was like, you're still God. If you allowed this to happen, like she told me yesterday, you said you would take care of us. That's all I have to say. And yeah, that was it. That's how she passed away on the 1st of July, 2015. So it's been actually almost 10 years. And which is crazy because now looking back, do you feel like 2019 has been?
No.
Yeah.
It was just yesterday.
Yeah, for me too. Sometimes I feel like it's yesterday. Sometimes I feel like, oh, okay, a few years. But when I think about 10 years, I was so young. Like I was 16. I was turning 17, I think. And yeah, it's crazy how time flies.
It does.
Like life is really fragile, I would say.
Yeah.
So obviously asking you what the hardest part was after he had passed away, what would you say it was for you?
I was about to say, somehow God is a good God. He's a good Father, because somehow He prepares us.
Yeah.
For the worst.
Chan.
I remember his last days, like 3 weeks. Yeah, the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I was really the last month.
Yeah.
Literally, like from July to September, I was not the same. I was so scared. I had weird dreams. Really so weird. I was like, what's this? Nabaza abantu bakambwira ngo it means death. I was like, oh, okay, never mind. And another thing is, my dad was somehow worried about me because I was not eating at all. I lost appetite. Like from July, I lost from nowhere. I lost appetite. So
yeah,
he was so worried. He was like, "Soon my mom. My mom knew him after."
Yeah.
he constantly asking my mom like, "Usu Negrita zabaho gute?"
Yeah.
I'm
How
worried
she's going to cope.
Yeah, how she's going to cope. I'm like, how? I forget to tell you guys. When the kakana kavutse nyuma, my parents were a bit old. Okay, they were not old.
But you're like the last child that they get when they're like a bit older. Like
yeah, exactly. For them, they call it old, but
yeah, it's normal.
It's no more. And then when I was born,
yeah,
my dad looked at me like a baby and my mom amubwira usakana nzabasha kukarera. He was so worried about me.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, yeah, you are still young.
Yeah.
We will do it, So for the last days, he was worried about me. And then I remember this time I went to church. During the day. It was during the day.
Yeah.
During the week, I went to church and then umushuti wanjye niwe waririmbye icyo gihe mpora mbimubwira aririmba indirimbo yitwa I remember the name sinzi uko ubigenza sinzi n'uko ubikora ariko icyo nzi
ndayikunda
you know the song, so I was like I cried and I told God I don't know sinzi uko ubigenza sinzi uko ubikora icyo nzi ni uko you are God. Do something. He is a good dad. He doesn't deserve to suffer. He made probably mistakes like everyone else. He was really a good dad. The way he is a good dad. Like remember him. Umugabanyirize kubabara. So I didn't know ko kumugabanyiriza kubabara. I was literally taking him. So after. I can say the life after. It was really hard. First of all, I think the first stage is denial.
Denial, yeah.
I don't know how to say this, but you deny.
Yeah.
You like,
now you go.
I was like, I don't want to listen. Like, this is too much. I can't, So I was in denial. And then after, when you're trying to accept it, it's really hard when you're trying to accept it, but the life after, like to anyone who's going through it, trust me, I understand.
I understand.
I remember this day, I closed the curtains and I did.
We were all black.
For my room to be dark, the way my heart is, I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to, to talk to anyone. I was like, I want to join him. But again, I love life. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. But again, if Iman is what's your wish? Either you bring him back or you take me. Because I couldn't imagine how my life is going to be.
I know.
Umuntu wese yarafunguraga, I was like, natanumva niwe kumini yafunguraga. Because he knew how much I love my privacy. So agafungura akahita ndunguruka nkagutya akahita asuhuza akahita yongera agafunga. So umuntu wese wabikoraga, I was like, is that him? Is he back?
Yeah.
So it was really that was the darkest moment of my life.
I know.
But God is God. Yeah. I think that's
it. For me, like you said, denial. I feel like the death, Yang will be said immediately after. Like, I remember the same day, like you just lost someone and then they hit you with all the things you need to do.
Yeah.
Oh, like the family has to gather. What are they drinking? What are they eating? Oh, you guys need to print pictures of your mom to put on the on Mumakad. Oh my God, burying her. It's in 3 days. So how is that happening? So all those things, I was like, guys, I can't even think. I can't even. I wasn't like even processing that she's dead, and I immediately had to find things. So I was like, oh, okay, I need to call my job, tell them that I'm not coming, And then I remember I was like in the underground, like dans les métros. And I remember me and my sister were sitting next to each other. So we just we just bought candles. We bought like a picture of my mom. We went to like put it in, encadré. So yeah, we did all that, and we're just sitting like, you know, when you guys are just silent, just going there thinking. And then I see like some girls enter. They were just like done with their, I guess, shopping. Like they had all these bags from Zara. And then I saw a couple enter. They were kissing, like being happy, dovey. And that's where it hit me. I was like, oh my God, like
life goes on.
Yeah, like life goes on. Because me, I wanted the whole world to stop and tell them like,
Yeah, exactly.
But there, I was like, oh my God, Amanti, like life is gonna go on and on.
Yeah, happy.
Yeah, and meanwhile, your whole life just stopped. Like, yeah, nice number. I was dead. I don't know how to explain it, but I just felt like I was a body without a soul.
Exactly.
I was just going on like, oh, okay, to be good. Okay, to be good. But my emotions were completely off, turned off. Because I guess I cried like at the moment I saw her. And then afterwards, I was thinking, like, so much things were in my mind. We were, like, thinking, oh, how do we tell our little brother? Because he was only 8 years old. I was 16. He was 8 years old. And I was like, how do we tell him? And all those, like... Sorry.
It's okay.
But, yeah, in the moment, you just think, like, oh, my God, okay. You don't think about yourself. Like, you think about all other people.
Yeah.
I was thinking about her sisters. I was thinking about her family that's, in Rwanda. I'm thinking about my sisters, and I was like, oh my God, like I was giving people all this fate, like talking about you, and look at this now, like the outcome.
Me.
Yeah, I really felt like you disappointed me, but you also disappointed like my faith, like, you know, and all the people now are disappointed in you and stuff like that. So those were like the thoughts behind it. But then honestly, like I feel like that for me, that was the hardest part, the denial.
Yeah.
And then starting from that day, I acted like nothing had happened. Like we buried her. That was the hardest day of my life, definitely. But once I buried her, I was like, okay, life needs to go on. Yeah. I was like, so I even called my work, and they were like, are you sure you want to come back, or do you feel like you need to take time off? It's okay. I was like, no. Of it, I didn't want anyone to remind me that my mom is dead. I was like, no, I need to live normal. So I went to work. I was happy. I started hanging out with my friends, always smiling, always talking to other people, doing stuff. I actually wanted to keep myself busy from thinking. Yeah. Recovering. So I was in denial. I kept going out to see my friends. I never wanted to be alone. So I spent like 6 months not wanting to be alone. I wasn't praying because I would want to pray, and then I would have no words. I would be like, no. You know, God has a plan. I was like, I know, but right now, please leave me alone. And that's where also I feel like once people like they lose someone, the best way to be there for them is just to be there. Sometimes even in silence.
Don't say anything.
Yeah, sometimes you don't need to say. You can say it once. And maybe because there's some people that told me some things, and afterwards I was like, oh wow, it's true. But you don't need to keep reminding like, oh yeah, for your recovery. Like, let people be, and God is God. He will have a way how to handle people's heart. He's the one that like he breaks our hearts, but he also is the one that mends it. So for me, that was the hardest part. I couldn't pray. I was keeping myself busy and everything. But yeah, just that part of the denial, and then the acceptation is also hard, because that's where now you realize, because the day we started like removing the clothes from my mom's bedroom, it's like, wow, this person is never coming back.
Never, like they're gone.
Yeah.
Like,
and because you talked about like how you always said with your dad, like, oh, you're gonna walk me through the aisle.
Yeah.
Me, just the fact that I felt like there's no one else in this world I will be able to call mom, and just the parents, because you can call other people mom, but it's not your parents. They will not have the heart that your mom had for you, the worrying. You know how sometimes my mom used to call me like, oh, hey, masaha, and I was like, mama, nawe, and stuff like that. At that point of my life, I wished she was still there and calling me. She would say, I longed for a parent, and I even thought, I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? I didn't see the meaning of life anymore. Honestly to God, I didn't think that I would one day like laugh and mean it, like really be happy. Because I was so used to faking it in front of people, trying to please people. But I was like, I'm never going to be happy again. I remember I was still in like secondary school. and that was the year I was graduating, like right after. And I remember I was like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I cannot bring my parents. What am I worth in this life? That's what I was thinking. That's how dark the reality is of losing your parent. Yeah, someone. Honestly, that's the only irreplaceable. Because a husband you can lose, you can find another one, even though it's not the same person. A child you can lose, and it's true. It's the hardest thing as well. But you can even have another child after. But a parent, you will never have another parent other than maybe parents-in-law and stuff like that. But it will never be the same. Your mom is your mom. Your dad is your dad. And yeah, I think the realization of what just occurred to me was the hardest. I was like, oh my God, like, ni gute. Don't cry. Don't cry.
I understand. Ndakumva cyane because me, I was an adult. I was not, okay, now I was not old.
Yeah, you were still...
I am young, but at that time I was 24 years old. I was an adult, but deep inside I was like, what am I going to do with my life without him? Like, I depended on him.
I know.
I was like, who's going to do this for me? And then my mom, she's a very good mom. I can't do it. Don't worry, I will do it for you.
Yeah.
Who's going to do this and this? Don't worry, I will do it for you.
I know.
But I was like, he is gone. He's never coming back. He will never be present in my life.
Yeah.
When I achieve this, when, we even give it.
Yeah.
When I get married,
I know.
Ninjara and Hangwana, they will not have a chance to know their grandpa. He was cool. And then another thing, I was asking God, why did you do this to me? Like, he was present.
Yeah.
My mariage, my siblings, my was.
And why now? Yeah.
Like, that's the question. I think in the Sekibazo recently. So that was the question I was asking myself.
I know.
What did I do wrong? Like,
don't blame yourself, girl.
No, I was like, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
I was like, he was present in my sister's wedding, in my brother's wedding. Yabonye babyara, yabonye abuzukuru, like, why me? I was old enough, I get married at 21. Or but again, after, when I look back, I think God trusted me enough to stay with my mom.
Yeah.
Kugira ngo, mbanye na papa wanjye arwaye, God trusted me. Yabona kubanza maybe I'm the strongest.
It's crazy how we see ourselves as weak, but God trusts us to be strong.
Yeah, God trusts us to be strong. So I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do with my life? And yeah. And that was it. I was like, oh my God. But here I am.
Here you are. And you're thriving. You're happy.
Yeah, I am very happy.
And although, okay, our parents are not here anymore, but honestly, like your mom said, I don't think I would have seen the magnitude of God's love in my life. Yeah.
It's okay to
I don't think I would have. One thing I can say, and also because I know so many people go through it, God's love is like, it's actually incomparable. Like, you can't understand, and it's unconditional. Because obviously in those times I was like not blaming God, but I was just like removing myself from God and just not trying to talk to God, because I felt disappointed. I felt like, oh, you didn't do what I asked you, but who am I? And at the end of the day, now looking back, God did exactly what was needed to be done. Because He is the perfect father, the perfect love. And looking back also on our story, it's crazy how God prepares us in a way that we don't understand. Because my mom, the way she raised us, she was very into like, oh, be independent, menya kwishyura fagitire, ugira akazi. Like, it's so young that I started working when I was 15. I was like, okay, go. So to the fact that even when she died when I was 16, like, my life didn't drastically change, like the routine. I was already working. We were already used to pay bills. So in that way, I'm so thankful to her, and I'm so thankful to God, because it could have been worse. And my sister also, my older sister, she was also very young. I think she was 24. So to have all those siblings under you, and she took great care of us, by the way, I don't think I can thank her enough because she had a lot of maturity, and my brother-in-law as well, because he was there. And that's why also I was thinking, I was like, oh my God, we at least are so lucky that my mom got to meet the one that ended up being so helpful in our lives. That's Thierry. He was amazing, and he took great care of my little brother. He was always there. Our friends also, I can't thank them enough. They were there every day helping us and everything. So there's some people in my life, I just pray God blesses you.
Yeah.
Because honestly, they have been like angels sent by God sometimes. And also, yeah, I think God just knows what he's doing. I know in the moment itself it can seem so weird, but it definitely changed my faith and the way I see God. Because now I see God as he knows what he's doing. Everything is already written. Like there's nothing that you really can change other than like trust him, give him all the glory, and live a life hopefully that's pleasing to him. But other than that, he has been good in all kinds of ways, through people, through family, through friends. And even now, although like my mom is dead, he gives me so many other aunties, moms, new moms that we are not related by blood. But look at us now. I have Mama Katya. I have so many other people that I call mom, and that I'm so thankful for them. So yeah, God definitely knew. Although spiritually, I think in the beginning it was hard for both of us.
Very hard. Yeah. You
Very.
asked so many questions.
Yeah.
Like why?
Why? Let's go. You know how the kids when they are born and they start talking, then they're like, oh, why is the sky blue? Why is that? I was like that.
You ask yourself
So many questions. And yeah, I think that's the hardest part, to not really get answers. But the answers, I feel like it's gradually.
Yeah.
You see life, not to say that you understand why they had to go, but you can understand like that God had he can see the bigger picture.
He had other plans.
Yeah, other plans. And were there also like moments for you where you felt like you had to be strong, where you had no choice, like to move on, to go, oh, be strong, the pressure sometimes?
Yes. So we go through grief differently, I think.
Yeah.
For me, I started posting my dad a lot.
Yeah.
And then there's this one time someone texted me. It was like, oh, move on, girl. You can. I will never forget that. I think now we're calling Mutima movie, but he was trying to, he told me in Kinyarwanda, like, no, not in Kinyarwanda. He told me in English, like, you need to be strong and you need to let your dad go. You know, haya chirikari.
Yeah.
It was haya chirikari pay. I was like, what? And I was like, maybe I'm doing too much.
Yo.
Maybe I'm posting him so much, maybe am I being weak? I asked myself so many questions. I was like, maybe I'm being so weak. I need to move on. But it's not a relationship.
Yeah.
It's your dad
or
your mom, there's no better way to go through it.
Yeah.
There's no better way.
There is no ego path of going to go, oh, after 2 months, this, and after 1 month, this.
Exactly.
And then, no.
By pressure to move on. I'm like, should I move on? But I started mitahokanya. I started posting.
Yeah.
Literally, I stopped.
You stopped posting about it because you felt like, oh.
I was like, I need to move on. I need to do this. I need to my life. I need to catch up.
Yeah.
I know. But it was really hard. But after I was like, it's so funny the way you don't even need any advice from anyone.
Yeah.
You advise yourself.
You become your own
therapist. Yeah, you become your own therapist. You're like, you know what? I don't owe anyone explanation.
Yeah.
It's my phone. I will post him as long as I want.
Yeah.
I will do exactly what I want.
I know.
So, to anyone going through grief, please don't feel pressured.
Yeah, and also, I think we can all agree that grief, it's not like, I don't feel like my grief is over. I don't know about you. I feel like it's a lifelong, like there's moments where everything, like a whole year can be like, nothing. Like blissful, oh yeah, I can talk about it, it's okay. And then one small moment happens. I don't know, do you ever have like those small moments? Akantu kazanye kakataka kwibutsa bikatabaye fresh.
You know, I do story times on my Instagram sometimes, and people ask me, there's this one time I talk about it, and someone asked me, does grief ever end? I didn't know what to say, because I was like, I can't lie to them. It does. I don't think it ends.
Yeah, no.
You just learn to live with it. Sorry.
Yeah.
You just learn to live with it, you know, because you have no choice.
You have no choice.
You can't stay stuck, you know. Kandi, kandi, you know, your dad or your mom
would want
to see you
exactly
that unhappy, you know. Eventually, some days you're just like, you know, Talita Kumi, you know, that gakobwa byuka
cyane,
you know, and then you wake up, you know, ubuzima bukongera bukagenda, you know, but it doesn't mean biba byarangiye. It means, you know, you learn to live with
it. Just live with it.
To just live with it. So it never ends. Grief doesn't end. You know, kandi abantu bagomba kubyakira no kubyumva.
Because you will never stop missing that person. You will never understand it fully.
No, this one time, I was in Ghana. So, Yakuri Airport, I was with my sister and one of my friends.
Yeah.
And then went to the airport. So, I didn't tell you this. After losing my dad, ibintu bye nese mba obsessed. Natangiye kwambara amashati ye, you know. Natangiye kwambara amashati ye, but my mom gave me his watch. Iyo saha yayikundaga cyane. So, iyo saha I was obsessed with that watch. I still have it. I still have it, but I think you get over it.
Now I used to always wear a necklace on my jamba. Now it's like I wear it obviously, but not every. I was like So
it was I don't remember. It was 2022, I think, or 2023. So we were in Ghana to the airport. So they were calling our names. Oh, Negrita, Rosine, and then to try and check up. Did they say check up?
Yeah, I guess.
And then for some reasons, so but they told me someone who were there. So I removed my watch. So that's never realizing. And then I was so lucky. I was like, my sister asked me, what time is it?
So you were like,
where's my watch? Just in the airport. I was like, where's my watch? Cousin was like, Shidi, we'll come back to Zaisab. I'm not a child. We're never going. I don't know when we're coming back, you know. I'm going back. I need my watch. And then they told me, oh, we didn't see any watch. Immediately. I don't know.
Lost it.
I lost it. I was like, no. I started crying like a baby. If I tell you, like a baby. I started crying. I was like, and no way. You have to find my watch. They were like, oh my God. What kind of watch is that? It's like
Rolex. AP.
You know, they started, you know, they started, you know, searching, checking everywhere. They're like, we can see your watch. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not going anywhere
without my watch.
And then my sister was like, she didn't say anything. They were calling our names. She was like, I'm like, I don't mind. You guys can go. I'll take another flight. It's okay. And I was like, and someone was, I found you. Is this one? I was like, yeah, that's the one. Nicaye hasi ndishima namuhobereye ntacyo nakoze and ndagenda.
Uri attached
to something, you know. You know, you lost that person. Ikintu cyo
ukumva
niwe wamurekura numvaga bambwiye ngo you just lost your dad.
I know.
I was like, no, there's no way. I need my watch. And somehow God is a good God.
No good. I could lose that.
He heals our hurts. I don't know. I still have it. I don't know how God did
You
it.
got over being so.
My dad namufashe byanze kumurekura. But for some reasons, I don't know how God did it.
Yeah.
Bitangiye kugenda gake gake.
But I feel like also there's different triggers as life goes on. Hari nyine n'umuntu ushobora kubyuka ukabona n'ikintu yakundaga cyangwa ikintu yakundaga kunywa nyine ukagitekereza ukavuga yo this was something that mom liked and something that she always talked about. I remember when my sisters gave birth. Each time for me it's bittersweet because now a bit less. But I remember how my mom, like when my oldest sister Olivia gave birth to her first daughter, I remember how my mom used to always talk about it, be like, oh my god, umunsi Olivia yabyaye, umunsi yakuze Maria, she was someone who also, like, I don't know if you've noticed, like in us or my sisters, we always get so hyped with like events. I know, yeah. But I feel like we got it from our mom. Our mom was like someone who wanted to always go all out, who loved, like events, let's do it big. So for me, that always stayed. But I remember when my sister got married, it was such a bittersweet moment for me because I was like, oh my god, like I know mom would have done like so much more. Chango, yeah. She would have, I don't know, she would have been so excited. Chango, sometimes I wish, like, I don't know, there would be like a phone. Chango, WhatsApp, like so many dreams of hers that I see today happening, and I was like, it's such a bittersweet moment to feel like that person is no longer here to witness, what they prayed for, what they said, because so many things in my life are happening now that I know my mom prayed for, and I'm like, oh, it's life,
For me, it's family gatherings. My uncles, like everyone is sitting, they're happy, they're enjoying.
I know.
And he's not present.
I know.
I'm like, he was not that old. He was young also.
I know.
He didn't deserve it.
I know.
But again, I'm like, and then it hits again.
I know. And then it becomes like new again.
Yeah, it becomes like new again. I'm
like, how do you know? Is there anything that you feel like you didn't do because that person is no longer here? Tell me you're not going to be able to do it because, like, for example, for you, it's probably going to be walking down the aisle with your dad. You're still going to walk down the aisle.
Yeah, I will, sure. Definitely.
So,
I could my gift. We do.
I know.
And then we'll probably give the gift to my brother. He's like a father to me.
Yeah.
But again,
yeah.
I will be shocked. Nikuri kw'Imana ndabizi nungu mbabyumvamo ko papa hari.
Yeah.
Even if it's 10 years
down the road,
7, I'll be shocked.
I know.
Ninamubona hari. But again, that's life.
That's life. Yeah. And I wanted to also ask you something more of like now that like your dad is not here, do you feel like he gets to live on through you? Like, how do you like his legacy continues through your life? In what way?
Probably yes. I look like him, first of all. The copy paste. And then the character somehow I'm like my dad. I have my mom's side and my dad's side, but yeah, and also he loves
yeah.
I try to be there for everyone.
Yeah.
I try my best to be there for them, either my cousins.
Yeah.
I show up or my mom.
Yeah.
Sometimes how
yeah.
Sometimes you need your alone time, you need to be alone. And then when I remember that my mom doesn't have anyone, I'm like, you know what? Let me go and continue to tell a story. I try to be there for him. I try to be there for my mom. I try. I can't replace my dad.
Yeah.
Literally, I can't replace him, but I try my best.
Yeah.
To do good the same way he did. I try my best to be in my siblings' lives. You are so nice, but I'm like, I'm trying to. They don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they. But I try my best to do good, to be there for them.
Yeah.
For them, I can't be him, but
But at least, umkobwa.
I can try.
Yeah.
I can be, and also his name. I love his name, Destiny. That's my favorite name. And I'm glad I have that name.
Okay.
So I hope I'll make him proud. I'm trying my best to make him proud.
I'm sure you do.
And I hope I'll make him proud more and more.
I'm sure you already do. I'm sure you already do, Pay. Personally, I feel like our parents get to live on and their legacy, their names through us. Like you said, it's crazy how sometimes people, when they come, obviously I'm a girl, my mom was a woman, and they come and they're like, oh my God, are you Francoise's daughter? Because you look just like her. And just like seeing how she was with her kids, I hope I can be like the same kind of mother, like be as close to Ghanide. Like I loved her conversation. So as someone who loved conversation, Kadi, obviously moments with Joe. But there's someone she loved to enjoy life. She was never the type of person go for the sake of no.
Good life.
She loved life. Kandi I try to love life as much as I can. And I guess the way she loved on her people, on her kids, on her family, that's the way I want to love people. And I guess that's how I'm trying to. Because she was really the type of friend, you call her, I got you. She would you go figure out, even on like, despite if she's having an issue, she'd be like, God got me, and
I know.
I love that. She used to help her family, she used to help her friends. So for me, I want to be like her. I hope I am like her. Like, and I guess that's how she gets to live on in the memories of people. Like, because like her daughters are just like her. You know what I mean?
Good person, just,
But last question, I guess, is how did the death of your dad change you the most?
I think, how can I say?
Like as a person, or your perspective on life, just.
One thing I know, eventually, I don't want to lose anyone again.
Yeah.
But if it happens, somehow
it's gonna be less traumatic.
Yeah, less traumatic. Somehow I'm like, eventually we are all gonna die.
Yeah.
Twese ntango isi. Mbese nize ko isi ntango ari iwacu.
Turabaruka tuzagenda twe tuzataha.
Turabagenzi. That's the biggest lesson. I was like, I'm the kind of person who gets too attached to people.
Yeah.
But somehow, I'm now, I love life.
Yeah.
And I try my best to live my best life.
Yeah.
I don't like when I get sad.
Yeah.
When,
I know.
I don't like it. Because I'm like, I don't know what tomorrow holds.
Yeah.
I need to enjoy every moment with people that I love. My friends, my family. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, I go back, I'm like, we're not the type of siblings to have to get an, I love you, I love you. But I try my best to be in their lives. I try my best to be a good auntie. I'm an auntie. I try my best to be a good auntie. I try my best to enjoy life to the fullest. Though sometimes it's hard. But I try my best to wake up again. Peace with the I need to live and to live a good life because I don't know what tomorrow holds. I don't know who I'm going to lose tomorrow. God forbid.
Yeah, God forbid. Yeah.
What the future holds.
Yeah.
So I try my best to enjoy as much as I can and to love. I love my friends. I love you guys. I love my friends and I love my family. So I try my best.
Okay. Same as Negrita. I think I'm someone who always says, I don't know how to love in halves. Like, I don't know how to just be like, like now when I meet people and I love them, I want to show them as much as I can. I want to be there as much as I can. Because I feel like you said, life is so fragile, guys. It's so fragile. And like everything can change in an instant, in a second. I can...
In the blink of an eye.
Yeah, in the blink of an eye, it can be like it's done, and you never get to experience that person again or be here. So I feel like it changed me completely in the way I love people, in the way I see people, also like the way my family matters now. And sometimes it's the family that you're born into, and sometimes it's the family that you create for yourself. For me, you guys are not even friends, it's family. Like some people come into your life and you're like, oh my god, this was meant to be. Like so on all those people, I want to love as much as I can. I want to be a light as much as I can. So I don't like to be sad, I don't like to be someone angry, someone mean. That's not the person that I am, because I really feel like what you put out is what you receive as well. So yeah. And also something that changed, which is weird, is like I love to take pictures now.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, but I've never been the type of person to maybe post a lot on my social media, like a lot of like posts. But my phone, it's like 50,000 pictures, because I love to like take pictures of my friends, of moments, because I know how much I missed that when my mom passed away, and I didn't have a lot of pictures. And I was like, oh my god, had I known, I would have, woken up every day, be like, hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel with her, which is why also I want to do this podcast. I feel like if my daughters one day, or my sons look back, they can have like something of me where they know my mind, know what type of person I was. Because it's crazy how much you not forget, but how much, of the everyday you forget.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you also have that?
Yes.
Because sometimes I was even like wondering, I was like, what was my mom's voice like? Because I don't have voice notes anymore. I have like a few videos, but sometimes we're laughing, there's a lot of noise. And I was like, oh, like I wish I had taken more, done more. So it changed me completely. And also in the way, like I said, I see God. God is good all the time. So
yeah, I like taking pictures too. But I thank God for that. I was like that ever since I was young.
Yeah.
I was the kind of person papa nyafite
Come
yeah.
digital cameras.
You know what I'm going to ukagenda not taking pictures of everyone.
Yeah.
I really loved it ever since I was really young.
Yeah.
And I have so many pictures with my dad.
Yeah.
Like I have so many pictures. I have so many, voice notes. I'm a message and now way I
so
kept
nice.
them. I'm so lucky.
Yeah,
I think I'm so lucky. So yeah.
Is there a last message you want to give to people going through grief? Because obviously we're also in April, where we just commemorated the genocide against the Tutsi in 1994. So I feel like people are still grieving, some of them. Like, everyone is on their own journey with that. So is there like a message you want to give to people?
To anyone going through grief, it's okay not to be strong. Like there's something I hate.
Yeah.
When you lose someone you love, everyone is like, oh, be strong, be strong. They don't mean bad.
I know.
But they're like, you have to be strong, you have to be strong. But it's okay not to be strong.
Yeah.
It's okay to be emotional,
Yeah.
like me. It's okay to cry. It's okay, to go through it. And there's no special moment like, when do you, because I constantly receive those kind of messages. They ask me, is there a specific time?
No, it's over.
I would like to say there's no specific time. You just have to go through it. The thing I did, I went through it. Now I'm going to No, I went through it. If I needed to cry, I cried.
Yeah.
You guys, I cried so much. So if you lost someone you love, just go through it. There's no special way.
Go through it.
To grieve.
Ukore icyumba ukeneye
gukora. Take care of yourself, and ignore the message. Be strong. And another word I hate is he is in a better place.
Yeah.
For so many, I was like, the better place was with me.
I know.
How is he in a better place? So, ignore those words. Abantu bakubwira amagambo n'ibi nta muntu ushobora kugira inama how to do it. You only can go through it. So
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Negrita. My message to people going through, like grieving is honestly, like Negrita say, you don't have to be strong. Keep your family close. Well, keep the people that give you peace close to you. If you know someone that's grieving, just be there. You don't have to say a lot of words. Just, you want something, you want to do something, just be there for that person, whatever they need. Don't wait for people also to reach out. Don't be like, oh, let me know if you need anything. No, sometimes just show up. if they need financial help, if they need, like, you know, we're all grown, you know, if there's children like who lost their parent, obviously they're gonna need like school fees, school money, like try to be there. Like, actually I feel like life is really all about like family, being there for people, experiencing people and loving people. So love people with words but also with actions. And
definitely.
yeah, and honestly, like, also God, talk to God. Honestly, you can talk to people, it can help, but also talk to God. If you're mad at God, tell him. If you're, you know, anything, just keep God close, because there's no point in going further away from him. You're only going to hurt yourself. And God is good always, and I thank him. I think with Negrita we can say the same. I thank him for everything he done for us, where we are in life right now, the opportunity to talk about how good he is. And I want to say it again, God is good. So do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I highly recommend God. There's this phrase that says he's the father to the fatherless. You know, in Kinyarwanda they say but in English they say he is a father to the fatherless. You know, to everyone who doesn't have a father, a mother.
Yes.
When Papa watch.
Pay.
So I highly recommend God.
Pay. He has been a dad, he has been a mom, he has been an aunt, he has been a best friend, he has been everything.
Everything to me.
Everything. And by ending this episode, I also want to say a huge thank you to Asher Petals. They have this beautiful, beautiful bouquet that they gave us, which I'm so thankful for. So if you guys need any, like, you know, want to send someone flowers, want to, you know, decorate an event with flowers, don't hesitate to reach out. I will put their Instagram in below. And also a huge thank you to Bralirwa, who gave us really good drinks, who sponsored this video. And so yeah, grab your drinks, guys. Bye bye. See you in the next episode.
Bye.